guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Stacey J, and I'm back with a new video. And let me tell y'all, I'm so excited to be making this video today because this is one that I've been really wanting to do for a long time, because I've had so many people, my friends mainly, and family members asking me how I do this one thing, and that is meal prepping. And so now that I'm on this hardcore fitness journey, and I have been for the past 4 months. If you've seen my other videos, you already know. If you haven't, please go back and watch and see how I've been getting it in the gym, please, and thank you. But the other side of that a lot of people have a hard time with, or don't even know that's just as important as working out, is meal prepping. So I'm gonna run down real quick a list of the benefits of meal prepping and why it's so important to me, and then I'm gonna actually get into the demonstration of my meal prep for this week, all right? A lot of times when it comes to like making good eating healthy choices, it will boil down to what do I have in the fridge at home, and do I have time to cook it? So when I take one day out of the week to go ahead and prepare all of my meals for the week, that's one less thing that I have to worry about throughout the week. And I know a lot of you guys are moms and husbands and have kids, or have jobs with very strenuous schedules. Sometimes time isn't something that you have a lot of, and we definitely don't have a lot of time to cook. So for me, just me alone, being a single woman, I can go out and spend 20 to 30 bucks on just one meal alone. And you think about 3 times a day, 7 days a week, that's a lot of money. And I remember doing the math one month on how much money I spent on eating out. Just know that it was over $500 on just eating out, and I think that's just ridiculous. That's another benefit of meal prepping, because you do save a lot of money, because once you go grocery shopping, you come home and you cook all of that food, that's it. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And I also make sure that I have snacks in there as well, so that again, when I get a little hungry and I don't want to eat a whole meal, I have some nuts or some trail mix that I can kind of nibble on and munch on until my next meal. Another key thing that you also need to remember, we all know what everything tastes like. So even when I have those moments of weakness where I want to go grab Popeyes, or want to go get a sub, or want to go get some sushi, I know what all of that tastes like already. What I don't know what tastes like is the success of being in the best shape of my life. And so for me, when I have those moments, sometimes once in a blue moon, I'll give into it, and that's okay, just as long as you don't stay there or stay stuck on that one time that you cheated. But once you start doing it and you start adding your own style of cooking to your meal prep, you can actually make it to where you enjoy it so much that you don't have to cheat, or you don't have to desire to go grab something. The other thing that I wanted to also let you guys know is healthy food does not have to be boring or bland. I think that's another misconception of meal prepping and eating healthy, is that we think that our food has to taste boring, like we have to have this dry ass chicken or dry ass broccoli and vegetables, and that's not the case. You can season your food, and you can actually add a lot of flavor to your food. It does not have to be boring, and it does not have to be bland. So if you have favorite meals or favorite entrees that you like to make at home, try to find a healthy alternative into cooking. Instead of using vegetable oil, maybe use olive oil. Instead of using ground beef, maybe use ground turkey. You can definitely incorporate and kind of slide and substitute different items to make your favorite meals a healthier version. At the end of the day, the reason why I even got to the space that I was in, being as big as I was, is because I like to eat. I love food. So even while I'm on this journey, it doesn't have to be boring, it doesn't have to be bland, and it doesn't have to be a drag. It kind of will be a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, because a lot of this stuff we do eat over and over again. But again, how bad do you want it, and how important is it to you to have the best body of your life and to be in the best shape of your life? So you just kind of have to weigh out your options. So for me, I've just decided to dedicate the next 6 months to eating healthy and working out, and just to see what happens and how my body transforms. As you can see, it's already transforming. So I think eating healthy and eating right and meal prepping is a great way to get there and to see those results a lot faster. So kind of use my video as a guide to kind of help you get started with your meal prepping journey. You don't have to use the exact items that I use, but if you've never meal prepped before, Mine is a very good one to start with. As you get comfortable with meal prepping and you really get into it, you'll start incorporating the things that you like and kind of omitting some of the things that you may not like. So I really hope that I can encourage at least one of y'all to get on this meal prepping journey with me and get on this weight loss journey with me and working out, because I'm telling you guys, it literally is the best thing that you can do for yourself. I'm no expert, I'm no chef, I'm not any of these things. I'm just somebody that has truly decided to dedicate my life into looking the absolute best that I can. So just come be a fly on my kitchen wall and let me help guide you to success. If you have any questions at all about anything that I make in this video, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll make sure that I answer and respond to your questions as quickly as possible. Let's go ahead and get into this meal prepping. All right, you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this meal prep. Right here, we have 3 of the 4 proteins that I'm gonna be cooking for this meal prep, starting off with 2 pounds of Atlantic salmon, a nice 1.5 pound ribeye steak, and some ground turkey. All right, you guys, so up first, it's gonna be our Atlantic salmon fillets. I'm gonna season those with some sea salt, some black pepper, and of course, you can't forget the lemon pepper sprinkles, that's right. And so I'm gonna take a pan, I'm gonna heat it up with some olive oil on medium heat. I'm gonna cut our fillets into 6 pieces so that it's easier to cook and prep. I'm gonna place those fillets skin side down first to make sure that skin gets real nice and crispy. You really wanna have it cook on that one side for about 6 to 7 minutes. And then you're gonna flip it over and cook it for another 6 minutes. Once it's been about 7 minutes, you're gonna go ahead and flip that salmon right on over. And you're gonna make sure that you sear it on the other side for another 6 minutes and get that salmon real nice and juicy. So we can have us some sexy salmon. Look at that, sexy salmon! Yes! Come through, salmon! All right, up next, you guys, is one of my favorite things to make on my meal prep list, and that is my garlic and herb turkey patties. And what I'm gonna do here is take 1 pound of ground turkey. I'm gonna add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil to my ground turkey, just because turkey does tend to be a little on the dry side and I wanna keep the moisture locked in. I'm also gonna take some fresh herbs, some sage, some rosemary, and some thyme, and you can find that at any local grocery store. And I'm also gonna mince up about 3 cloves of garlic, and then I'm gonna take those 2 things and I'm gonna toss them in my ground turkey mixture. Next, to make sure that thing is seasoned up real good, I'm gonna make sure I put some sea salt in there, some garlic powder, and some fresh black pepper. Don't be shy with the seasoning, because with turkey, you do have to add a little extra to make sure it's nice and seasoned. Next, I'm gonna heat up my skillet with some olive oil, and I'm gonna put the temperature on medium heat and let that pan get nice and hot. All right, y'all, so here's the tip. Y'all know I'm not gonna steer y'all wrong, especially when it comes to making sure that this food is flavorful. So just to double check that you've seasoned your turkey patties well enough, make sure that you grab a little pinch of your mixture, create a little miniature patty, and cook it. It only takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Once it cools, you'll be able to taste it and tell if you need to add more seasoning, more garlic, or any more herbs. This is also a trick that you can use for regular burgers or when you're making meatloaf. All right, after doing that mini taste test, my patties were well seasoned, so I went ahead off camera and made my patties. I just rolled up 4 balls and smushed them down to form these patties. And then once they were formed, I went ahead and put them in my hot skillet. Now, once you place each of the burgers in the skillet, make sure that you cook each side for about 6 to 7 minutes each. You want to make sure it gets a nice golden brown color. You hear that sizzle? That's exactly what you want. You want it to be seared on each side, so make sure that you're letting it cook for about 6 to 7 minutes. You see how it's brown on that one side there as I flip it? That's the color that you're going for. That's the color that you want. You can even make it a little bit more golden brown if you like. Some people like theirs a little dark skin. I like mine a little light skin. What's up? Hey y'all, so my roommate just came home and saw that I have one of my steaks prepped. So tell me, Quaz, what is the rule of thumb when it comes to cooking a steak?
The rule of thumb is that you always want to cook a steak when it's room temp. You never want to take the steak from the refrigerator straight to the
Ooh, you don't mind taking my steak out for me?
Oh, she got a big, oh, that boy.
Ooh, look at that boy right there. Thank you, Quaz.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that tip,
Is that
Quaz.
all you wanted me to say?
Yeah.
Well, my biggest thing about meal prepping is that you just stick to the plan. I have faltered on it a lot. I noticed that when I don't have my food prep, I'm easier to make just decisions on the fly. Sometimes I try to make good decisions, and sometimes I go with what my desire says. And other days, I celebrate.
All right, you guys, I think y'all might have an idea of what's up next. That's right, that's that beautiful ribeye with that perfect marbling. It's boneless and it's seasoned very well. I used a 5 salt and 5 pepper seasoning rub that I got from Kroger. I also got the Kinder seasoning blend, as well as sea salt, black pepper, and of course, you know I can't forget about my handy dandy garlic powder. And so that is what I use to season the steak. The best pan to cook a steak in is definitely a cast iron skillet. I have a little bit of olive oil in there, and I definitely have my heat on medium. And I'm gonna sear each side of my ribeye for about 7 minutes on each side. And then because the steak is so thick, I'm also gonna sear each of the sides for about a minute or 2. All right, you guys, so it's been about 8 minutes or so. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and get a sear on the other side. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Don't forget to sear each of the sides of the ribeye to make sure that you're getting it cooked all the way through. All right, now remember our food doesn't have to be boring, so I went ahead and added a little bit of vegan butter. I definitely added about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, and then I added some fresh herbs, mostly rosemary, thyme, and sage. And I'm gonna use that to baste my steak to give it just a little bit of extra flavor. All right, so our steak is just about done. And once it is finished cooking, you guys, make sure that you place it on a plate and wrap it in some foil so that it locks in the juices and it gives it an opportunity to rest. All right, first up for the sides are going to be some green beans. I'm going to drain the water off of the green beans. I'm going to use 4 cans. And then I'm going to add about 4 cups of fresh water to my green beans because I just heard that you're supposed to pour off the canned water and add your own fresh water when making green beans. Next, I'm going to add some chicken base to give my flavor a little bit of water because whatever your water tastes like is what your green beans are going to taste like. So I add some chicken base, and then up next, I'm going to add a nice amount of oregano. And don't be shy with the oregano because there's no salt, but it adds tons and tons of flavor to your green beans. Once you're done adding the oregano, I'm going to add my secret ingredient, and that is my Newman's Own classic oil and vinegar dressing that I use for my salad, but I add about a half a cup of it to my green beans because, again, it just gives it this really nice Italian flavor that I just absolutely love. And then I add about a quarter of a cup, or actually a half a cup of white vinegar to my water. Mix that up, put that on low heat, and just kind of let that simmer while I'm making the rest of my side items. Next up, we're gonna be making one of my favorite sides, which is broccolini. It's a hybrid between broccolini and asparagus. I'm gonna massage a little bit of the olive oil on my broccolini just to get the seasonings to kind of stick to it. So I'm gonna use my 5 salt and 5 pepper seasoning rub, as well as iodized sea salt. And then of course, I can't go wrong with my handy dandy, you guessed it, garlic powder. That's right. And then I'm gonna, of course, sprinkle some black pepper on top of there as well. I'm gonna lightly spray my pan with Pam olive oil, and I'm going to saute my broccolini and steam it until it's nice and tender. Ooh, look at that sizzle. You hear that sizzle? Which is why I steam it to kind of give it that softness. But broccolini is a mix between broccoli and asparagus, so you still want to have that nice crunch. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep it into these containers. And now it's packed now. All right, y'all, I got my salad, my green beans, my Newman's Own dressing, of course, that's my favorite, rice, broccolini, turkey patties, salmon, and y'all, look at that. That's my prize right there. Yo, I fucking did that steak. Wow, that's so good. Then get a nice little close-up on my salmon. Dope. Very good. Nice meal prep. All right, so now I'm gonna go over to like my breakfast and snacks. So I have a whole thing of cut strawberries. I do smoked sausage in the morning with some oatmeal and a serving of fruit. So that's why I always make sure I have fruit, whether that's apples, oranges, bananas, or strawberries. And then these are like my snacks. And so I'll do an apple cinnamon rice cake with some peanut butter. These are also really good. Very, very delicious. An amazing snack. Same thing with these. I just recently tried these, and these are so good. They're walnuts that taste like different things. So they have the oatmeal cookie kinds. And then we have the maple. And yeah, not a lot of sugars. Very, very healthy. Loaded with omega-3s. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. And of course, the most important thing is my water jug. I have a gallon water jug that I got from Amazon. It is the truth. So I have to make sure I drink all water, because in eating this, I don't drink anything but water. When I tell y'all this thing right here, good. Where? Restaurant where? Chef who? That's me. And the salmon is still so moist and tender. Oh my God, it's so juicy. And these green beans, green beaning. Do you hear me? This it right here. So I think that just about covers everything, you guys. This lunch is definitely calling my name, so I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go get into my lunch. But happy meal prepping, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.